Driver of the number 21 ISM Connect Chevrolet for GMS Racing, Johnny Sauter. And driver of the number 18 Safe Light AutoGlass Toyota for Kyle Busch Motorsports, Noah Gragson. We'll go to you first, Johnny. Just talk to us a little bit about your race, please.
Yeah, well, it was awful. So, just no grip. And, yeah, we laid an egg tonight. So, I don't know why, just sideways. And then make huge adjustments on the pit stops. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Didn't really feel it. So, you know, it's crazy. You got some races where you do a couple of pounds air pressure and a little bit of a track bar adjustment, and it's like you go night and day, and then tonight you make huge adjustments and just ho-hum, you know. So proud of everybody at GMS. Great season, and we just coming down the stretch here, we didn't get it done. So congratulations 16 truck. They did a hell of a job tonight, win the championship and win the last race. That's pretty cool. So we just didn't have it.
Noah, talk to us a little bit about your evening.
Just struggled overall to make, I guess, productive adjustments on pit road. Kind of like Johnny said, it was just hard to really get a pinpoint on the balance. Felt like little things the things that you wouldn't think would make a difference made a big difference, and things you think would make a big difference didn't make a difference. So just overall, I'm just really happy to, I guess, soak this all in. Obviously, we wanted to be on top of the stage, but yeah, congrats to the 16. It's been a hell of a week. It's been a lot of fun, and just learn, move on.
We'll open it up to questions now. If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you. We'll start right up front here with Jerry Jordan, then we'll go to Jacob.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires .net, Performance Racing Network. Johnny, you've been through these situations many times, not saying you're the oldest guy out there or anything like that, but for the younger guys, what advice do you have for them going through not winning this championship tonight, and what about you, and how will you deal with it?
Well, these guys ain't old enough to drink, but I can go home and have a 12-pack of Bud Light, so maybe some old style. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's tough, but these guys are young, they're resilient, they'll get over it, and they'll live to race another day. So, you know, it's a little different for me. You know, tonight just sucked. I mean, when you suck that bad, it's whatever, you just go home, you know, and go, what the hell happened? That's the way I look at it. So, and I'll ask myself that for 3 months, you know. But these guys, I mean, they're young. They got long careers ahead of them. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I can tell them. It's racing is a lot of ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and there's more valleys than there are peaks, it seems like. So if you're going to race and you're going to stick around a long time, be prepared to get kicked around, because that's the way it feels sometimes. And if you can deal with that, you'll learn to appreciate the good days.
We'll go over here to the left to Jacob, and then we'll go to Bob.
Jacob Seelman, Speed Sport. I've got two questions. The first is for Justin and for Johnny. Knowing the position that both of you guys were in that final stage, were you guys surprised at how far off you ended today compared to where you guys looked to be for most of the start of the day through practice and qualifying?
I'm glad you included us in a group. You know, we're terrible as a group. That's always good, but I don't know. I mean, we just missed it. I mean, me and Johnny had pretty similar setups, same front end package, same rear end package. Went to the Chevy Sim together, did everything together this week. We're not married or anything, but
You guys sleep together?
No,
Not yet. That's
not yet. But
Cool.
but no comment. But
Cuddle buddies.
I don't know. We just struggled. I can't tell you why. I mean, the truck drove okay. We just lacked a shit ton of speed. So I think Johnny would probably tell you the same.
Yeah, you know, I've been racing long enough to know when you get that really good feeling about the way things are going, and I just never had it today. Even this morning when we made our mock run and we're top of the board, it just didn't seem gripped up. So tonight's race was a bit of a shock to me. I didn't think we'd be that awful, but we were. So, yeah, you know, like he said, we just missed it, and such is life, you know. Nobody died. We're all good.
Part of it.
For Noah, you and Brett had a hellacious battle there right before that last round of green flag pit stops. What's going through your mind at that point? And then when you're trying to chase him back down, was there any more you could have tried to do?
No, that's pretty much just me driving 100% with driving my nuts off pretty much. You know, I mean, it's tough, but I guess that just comes down to experience, making good.
Just put the mic down at least, Johnny.
What?
Do something.
Yeah. I gave it all I got. I mean, I had my tongue hanging out. I wasn't warned. I wasn't falling out of the seat. I just burnt the front tires off of it. I needed security. We were loose on the first run, and then just made it a little bit too tight for the second run through the center and a snappy on exit. And then we got my exit really good, just too tight through the center, and just burnt the front tires off. And I thought I had a left front going down. I don't know what was the problem. It might have just been all in my head. But it just started getting really, really tight. 3, 4, 5 numbers of a balance shift tighter. So just really challenging. And man, it sucks when you see that thing driving away from you. And you hear that voice crack? I need some water. Anyways, sorry. I just bummed out, but we got bigger and better things to move on to, and got the off season to spend with the family, and get to go racing next year. So that's always a plus.
We'll go right here to the right to Bob.
Bob Pipers, ESPN. This is for Johnny. Brett has had good runs this year, but they've been a little bit inconsistent. I was curious if you saw this coming at all, the fact that they finished second, third, and then back-to-back wins in the last 4 races.
Well, momentum is definitely a factor in the sport, and you know, I can speak from past experience. In 16, we got hot towards the end of the year, especially around the playoff time, and won a couple races and came down here and had a good run and won the championship. So momentum is definitely a big factor in this deal. And so, yeah, I wasn't surprised. I knew today, just looking at the lap tracker, that they had good speed in their truck. And, yeah, I felt like that's the guy we were chasing. Me, personally, my team and stuff. So, yeah, when you get on a roll, sometimes you feel invincible, and then they had it going on, and you know, we just struggled down the stretch, and yeah, I can sit up here and sugarcoat it till the cows come home, but that's not my style. It's call it what it is. We sucked last week, and we sucked tonight.
Additional questions down here. We'll go over here to the far right to Tom and Dustin.
Dustin Albino, front stretch. For you, Justin, 3 wins this year overall. What's your biggest takeaway from the year?
I don't know what the biggest takeaway is. I mean, obviously we had a good season, and it's more than I expected. Going into the season at Daytona, I didn't have any Xfinity races lined up, and I got the opportunity to do some Xfinity races and try to prove myself in those. So just got to have faith. I mean, some of those times, you know, you look at it and you're kind of in a bad spot, and the next week you go and you run good. So I don't know, never give up. I think we built a pretty good team behind us in the 24 camp. I think Kevin Belcourt really formed a good group of guys behind us, and I think that is what led to most of our success.
And Johnny, for you, career highs in wins, top 5s, and laps led this year. So is this one kind of tougher to swallow than last year?
You know, last year was a little tougher to swallow because we ran second, third all night to Christopher, so we lost the championship by 1 spot. Tonight, you know, you start running not very good, and you're kind of like, well, hopefully there's hope on the first pit stop. And then as the night went on, the second pit stop, we didn't get any better. So, you know, the season is nothing to hang your head about, obviously. 6 wins and, you know, very consistent. We just had some missteps here towards the end of the year. So, I don't know. Tonight's championship run, the season doesn't sting very much, because when you're awful, you don't deserve it, right? So what the hell? I mean, that's the way it is.
We'll stay over here to the far right to Tom.
Tom Bowles, front stretch. For you guys, we now haven't had a caution here other than stage breaks in 2 years. So were you guys surprised that it was that clean a race? Was that part of your strategy going in? Did you guys expect it to go green as long as it did?
I loved it. I could go home quicker. I mean, the shorter the race, the better it is for us. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was hoping, I was hoping for a caution there late because we were so good on fire-off speed. I mean, I think we were one of the best on fire-off speed. So, yeah, this isn't really one of those mile and a halves where you expect wrecks. I mean, it's just super wide, and most of everyone's in control.
I was happy racing. I wanted to race some more. And there's a human side of me. I had a really fun time tonight, and I'm happy that I got to race for championship. But driver's side, I want more laps. So I liked it.
Do we have any questions in the press box?
No questions.
Thank you. Gentlemen, congratulations on solid seasons. We look forward to seeing you at Daytona. Continuing our post-race media availabilities after tonight's NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Ford EcoBoost 200, we're joined now by the 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rookie of the Year, Myatt Snider, driver of the number 13 Tenda Ford for Thor Sport Racing. Myatt, hell of a season, bud. Talk to us a little bit about this evening and then the season overall.
Yeah, we didn't start off the strongest truck by far. We were really loose, and I couldn't really go anywhere with it. But the guys from Thor Sports, Rich Lucius and everybody, did some awesome adjustments. Really made some wholesale changes and got it to where I could really drive it. And so went from struggling to run like 18th to getting catching guys in the top 10 while running 13th. So we definitely gained some spots. But yeah, it was just a really good team night for us, adjusting like that. So I think it bodes well for next season, and just proud of them for giving me such a good Tenda Louisiana Hot Sauce Ford F-150.
Excellent. We'll open it up to questions for our Rookie of the Year. If you raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you. Let's start off over here on the far right, please.
David Siegel with Front Stretch. Congratulations, Myatt. So I talked to you earlier this year, and you said that you've already learned a ton this year compared to last year running full-time, but what specifically do you think that you've improved on the most from last year to this year, whether it be restarts, preserving tires, getting on pit road, things of that nature?
I think it's pretty much all of the above that you mentioned right there. The biggest thing is just learning how to race around the air, because that's it's kind of unintuitive to start, and definitely getting restarts better too, because I come from a world of late model stocks where there's a lot more leeway than there is here. So you gotta be a lot more on your game here, and once you are on your game, you can get some pretty good runs. You just gotta time it really well. So couldn't have done that without everybody from Thor Sport Racing and Duke and Ron Thorson for giving me great trucks. So it's been a good year overall for us in our Ford F-150s.
We're going to go over here to the far left to John Haviland, then we'll come to Jacob.
Over here in the corner, no man's land. John Haviland, ESPN Albuquerque. Driving for Thor Sport, you were on a team that was the only organization using Ford. So does that make it, more difficult or easier to live up to the performance, being that only team using that manufacturer?
I honestly liked it. I really liked working with Ford Performance. They're a great group, and they love what they do, and they have a passion for racing. So it really kind of fit the style of the team, I guess. So they've definitely helped us out a bunch, and I think that moving to Ford was a really smart move for Thor Sport, and I've enjoyed this year a lot working with them.
We'll stay over here to the left to Jacob now.
Jacob Seelman, Speed Sport. Myatt, two for you. First, when you look at the battle between you and Gilliland, there was a stretch during the summer where he really outran you guys, and it looked like it was going to be even closer than what it ended up being tonight. Does it make it rewarding to outrun a team like the Ford team from KBM?
Yeah, absolutely. I think during the summer there was a lot of times where we were just kind of, figuring things out, especially, just little ins and outs that, we need to get better as a team, and we've really improved upon a bunch of stuff. So and that culminated in the kind of the fall stretch of the races, with Talladega, Martinsville, and Vegas, that 6th, 2nd, and 3rd. So I think honestly we've had a lot of speed. It just sometimes hasn't shown because of us maybe having some teething problems. But honestly, for where we started and where we are now, I think it's quite an improvement. So I'm just really proud of everybody for working so hard at it.
You've said in the last couple weeks that your goal is to remain with ThorSport and with this 13 team for next year. Have you guys started having conversations on that front? Is that still, what the ultimate goal is for you?
Yeah, it's still the ultimate goal. We have such a synergy with me and Rich Lucius that I think it's the smartest move, personally, to stick with that and see what we can do next year as a non-rookie. I think we'll honestly be running for a championship next year if we do run.
We're going to go right here in the middle to Matt.
Matt Corson with the Racing Experts. Aside from winning Rookie of the Year, when you look back at 2018, what's going to stick out the most professionally to you?
Just so much that I've learned, and especially some of the close runs that we've had. Not a lot of people noticed, but some of the early runs we had in the season were really good. Like we had some insane speed at the first Vegas. We passed Kyle Busch in the second stage for P2, and then ran 6th at Martinsville. So it didn't. Not all the results quite showed, but I think that was just kind of showing what the raw potential of this team was. So definitely take away some of those runs and just everything that we've improved on as a team that really sticks out to me.
Additional questions for our 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rookie of the Year? Any questions in the press box?
No questions.
Thank you. Mike, congratulations on a great year. We look forward to seeing you in Daytona.
Hey, thank you.
We're going to continue our NASCAR Camping World Truck Series post-race media availabilities. We're joined now by the 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion, driver Brett Moffitt. Throw a couple facts out here before we go to question. Brett, you're the first Iowa native to win the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series championship. Finished the 2018 season with 6 wins and 13 top 5s. And during the playoffs, of course, you posted 2 wins back-to-back at ISM Raceway here at Homestead and 5 top 5 finishes. First, congratulations on the championship. And before we open it up to questions of these guys, tell us how it feels.
Pretty good. I don't know. I don't think it's sunk in yet. I have a lot of friends, family here, and just the effort that HRE put in all year, and Scott and these guys when we didn't even know if we were going to make it to the track, and then we show up that week and win the race at Chicago, and just everything we've been through. I don't think everyone understands when we say we have 9 or 10 full-time employees. That's the last 3 to 5 weeks they've been working 7 days a week and working till midnight if need be. More times than not, they were doing that, and it's just it's a testament to them. It's really I'm fortunate to drive the truck, but those guys, they kill it. I mean, it's an honor to drive for them.
We're also joined by our 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series crew chief champion, Scott Zipadelli. This is, Scott, your first career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series championship. Your previous best championship finish was 7th with driver Ben Kennedy in 2016. And we're joined by our NASCAR Camping World Truck Series owner champion, Shigeaki Hattori. Your first NASCAR Camping World Truck Series championship. You become the 15th different owner champion in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and the first from Japan. Gentlemen, to both of you, congratulations, and I'll go to Scott first. Scott, you did it. How's it feel?
It's, yeah, like Brett said, it's kind of amazing, really. It feels good. Going into this race, everybody asked me, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" No, we're not nervous. We're really not even supposed to be here. We've exceeded all expectations from all of our peers and competitors. But with saying that, we had all the confidence that we could do it, and we did it with people, not stuff or a big budget like some of the teams that we race with, out budget us. But we did it with people and heart, and like Brett said, these guys worked. I mean, I've had to kick them out of the shop at 1 o'clock in the morning in the past week because I was exhausted. Starting at 5:30 and 5:30 in the morning, and we'd leave the shop at midnight, and everybody's happy. Who's happy working that long hours? And they want this. And it's been an amazing journey. It's taught us a lot about ourselves and what you could do if you really focus on the right things. And with Brett, I did an amazing job all season driving the truck. We work very well together, and working for Shiggy is a I don't know, it's a joy, really. I'm very happy for all of our employees and their families that have sacrificed a lot to get here.
Well, Shiggy, you're at the pinnacle. You've reached the mountaintop. It's got to feel pretty good for you.
Well, it takes a long time since I started my own team. It was 2008, and I mentioned Brett. We missed K&N Championship. It was 2012, and we were leading last lap, so then we missed it. But today, yeah, we did. And it's again, we're so small team, but everybody did great job, and I'm so happy, all the teams and all team members and all team families. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, let's open it up to questions for our championship team. We'll start over here to the right with Bob Pockers, then come up front here to Jerry.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Brett, going into this race, not knowing what your future holds, did your mind wander into like, gosh, this could be a career moment, gosh, if I can win this race, it'll help me land rides in the future, or did you try to kind of stay in the moment itself?
I'd say a little bit of both. I wouldn't say, I mean, I thought about it, and the only reason I thought about it is because even if I win it, I'm still not guaranteed a job next year, but at least I can say that I won it. So that's really all it extends to is, we've worked really hard all year, and I wanted to win it not only for myself, but everybody involved. We had so many different partners this year that have really helped us along the way and helped us get to this point. So, it was I put pressure on myself to win it so that no matter what happens in the future, at least I can say I won it.
We'll come up front to Jerry and then to Holly.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and Performance Racing Network. Shiggy, it's about 1 p.m. in Tokyo right now. Any phone calls? Any congratulations? What's been the message from all the supporters overseas that make this happen for you guys?
Well, as soon as we finished the race today, I got about maybe a 20 text message and a phone call, and the president of AISIN and chairman, they called. It's not a broadcasting over in Japan, but they are checking maybe a website and scoring. So and then they're so excited.
And Brett, you gonna keep the mustache with the?
No, it's gone. It's gone. No. We'll see. We'll see what the ladies say.
We're going to stay up front here to Holly.
It's a very nice mustache.
That just contradicted everything you said.
Well, I know, but I had the microphone now. For both of you, you just alluded to this, coming so close to winning that first championship and losing it on the last lap. And then this year, you've won a couple of your races on the last lap. It's been certainly a thrilling combination. If you guys could just kind of talk about that.
I would say the majority of it is Shiggy has just built such a better race team than we had back then. And not to put anyone down, but the people he has in place now, with everyone from Mike Gragson to Scott Zipadelli and everyone through the company, is so much stronger that a lot of the races we battle back from adversity and still win or still run up front. And as long as, I feel like pretty much, except Kentucky this year, we showed up to every race, and if we executed it how we needed to, we could have won the race. And if we didn't, then we ran poorly, I guess. But as far as speed goes and the people on the team, we could battle back from anything. It didn't matter if we got set back on a pit stop or in traffic, and we would always end up front. So I think a lot of our wins, or a couple of our wins, we could have had a more dominating performance. It just so happened that it worked out to be a last lap deal. I feel like last week at Phoenix, once we got to the lead, we probably could have led majority of the race. But it works out how it works out, and I was a dumbass and sped on pit road, and thankfully we got it back.
We'll stay right here in the middle.
Justin Malillo, the racing experts. Brett, this season, drivers such as Ryan Preece and Ross Chastain got a chance to make a name for themselves in top equipment in the Xfinity Series. Tonight, you've gone a step further, and you took a team that almost didn't make all the races this season to the title. With all that said, how much confidence do you, as the 2018 Truck Champion and the 2015 Rookie of the Year in Cup Series, have moving forward in your NASCAR career, where it seems that talent might be getting a better look advancing through the ranks?
You really worded that well. I saw you reading. You had to write that one down, huh? I'm confident in my ability. I'm confident that if I get the right opportunity, I can go win Xfinity championships and Cup championships. You know, have spent most of my career in non-race winning equipment, and as soon as I got in race winning equipment with Scott and Shiggy, we won a championship. So I'm 100% confident in my ability, just need the right opportunity.
We're going to go over here to Chris, then Matt Weaver, then Bob, and then we'll go back over here to the left.
I was going to ask about the engine. It's coming. I was waiting for you to do it.
Chris,
I knew you were going to do it. Shiggy, 20 years ago, you won your first IndyCar Lights race here at Homestead. Tonight, you're crowned the 2018 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series owner champion. Which one is more sweeter?
Well, it was a long time ago. You know, this place, I have good memories. But today, I talked to Scott. Normally, I was so nervous we were leading, but today, I was so confident, and nobody don't catch up our truck, you know. And last 10 laps, and I was thinking same as when I won here in Delight, and this place is so red. I have so good memories.
And Brett, how long does the party go for?
Till we get kicked out of the DO lot tonight.
We'll go up front here to Matt Weaver.
Matt Weaver with Auto Week. I've got actually one for each of you. For Shiggy, you've done something that a lot of smaller teams are trying to do right now too, to try to build not only a team into a winner, but you've built them into a champion with, I believe, 9 or 10 full-time employees. What's the secret? How do you put together something to this scale, such a small operation?
Well, nothing secret, and you know, definitely, you know, money part, you know, big part of car racing, but it's not only money, and even if we spend 10 million, and you know, if we spend the wrong part and it doesn't happen, and I think this sport definitely people sport, and we have a good small group, but we have good people and good team manager and good crew chief and good driver and good mechanics, and then all, you know, one package. I think that's today, you know, our hard work paid off, and you know, crew chief working almost 12 hours a day. And, then I really pushed myself, okay, we need to find more money. So that's definitely one group.
For Brett, I feel like all season long, it's been a series of excuses from other teams in the sense that when you won Atlanta, people had said, oh, well, it's because Kyle had his misfortune late in the race, and then it turned into the engine story, and then you've won 6 races, and now you're here. Was there a part of you that went into this weekend thinking, there's no way I can't win this championship, to allow them to have that sentiment?
Yeah. As the season went on, it didn't bother us, but it was more and more of a joke what they were complaining about. The rules changes hurt us, and we still won Phoenix. And then the guy that runs 7th decided to complain about it when he got beat by 5 other Ilmor motors. And we had Ilmor in it tonight, and I don't know where he finished, but he didn't beat us, so I don't know what his excuse is now.
Very similar question for Scott. Same thing. You've said all along that it's not the engine that was winning, it was your trucks, your team, your driver. Does this validate that stance?
Who won? Who won the championship? Like I said last week when we had this conversation, I would love to stir the pot because it's fun, but I'm really not that kind of a guy. But I'm confident they just got beat by a better team right now. We have focused on our own program and not anybody else's program. Every one of our employees has their head down working on the plan that we have. And they're not worried about what KBM's doing or what GMS is doing and who's running what oil, and that we have just laid a blueprint out to what works for us. And it's worked all year. Were we forced to go to change the engine to come here? Yes, we had to.
Actually, a follow-up to Shiggy's point, talking about people. Do you believe that it's possible for any team, any sort of budget, any sort of size, to be able to do what you guys have done, as long as you have the right driver, the right crew chief, the right package?
Absolutely. I've worked for teams that we've had when I worked for Turner Scott, and I had more people, more resources, and I had a full fab shop, chassis shop, fab shop, you name it. We didn't have the level of details that we have today because there's 2 of us in the fab shop, myself and one other guy. And it's sometimes bigger isn't always better. When you have a 3-truck team or a 2-truck team, there's a lot of you get animosity between trucks or teams, and you've got a lot of drama or distractions going on in the company. We just focus on what our program is and what our goals are. And we've gotten better throughout the season. This truck we've raced at Vegas, and honestly, we didn't run that great in Vegas. We almost won Vegas, but we were probably a 5th place truck maybe. But we cut it up. We cut it up for the past 4 weeks, and we worked long nights, and everybody had a smile on their face, and they had their heads down, and they wanted to do this. So this is just, to me, I manage it like it's just like a stick and ball or football team. It's all about their people and having a good plan and letting their people do their jobs and not micromanaging them. And when you get the right people, it makes it fun.
We're going to go to Bob, and then we're going to go over to the far left to John.
Bob Hucker, CSPN for both Brett and Scott. You were somewhat inconsistent throughout the year, but you end the season as the 2nd, 3rd, and a back-to-back wins. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I think it goes back to execution, and our inconsistency throughout the season was just, Kansas, we had a part failure where I feel like we could have won the race, and just weird shit like that happened where Dover, we qualified poorly, and we ended up freezing, wrecked us on the first lap, and we had a really good truck there, and I think our inconsistency was just due to poor execution and things happening. I feel like I said, everywhere but Kentucky, I feel like we had a race-winning truck. It was just whether or not we had things go our way and executed the race properly.
Yeah, I agree with Brett. We've gotten a couple of wrecks. We've had a couple of self-induced issues. Some my responsibility, some on Brett. Some of us our communication.
I wrecked at Texas.
Wrecked at Texas. I didn't mean that. But we started off the race too free at Texas, and we wrecked. I mean, but like I said, I felt confident that we could win. I felt like we should have won 3 or 4 more races that we gave away. But like that's the way it goes. But to win 6 and then come down here and like last week we heard all the boo-hooing and whining about our engine, and they were afraid we were going to bring the Mark Cronquist TRD engine down here because it was going to be a joke. We came down here with the same engine they have, and we pretty much kicked their butt. So, not being cocky about it, but that's just really what happened. We put our heads down and worked on our program, and Brett did everything he needed to do. The pit crew did everything they needed to do. The guys at the shop did everything. I mean, it was just it was just kind of a perfect execution for the past 2-3 weeks, preparing for this.
We're going to go to the far left corner to John Haverland.
John Haverland, ESPN Albuquerque, for Shiggy, and the question I'm going to ask, perhaps maybe you can kind of give a general consensus of what other owners think in the series. Just how effective has the Ilmor spec engine been this season, both from a performance standpoint and a financial standpoint for the team?
Who was that for? Me?
Shiggy.
Well, could you say that one more time?
Yeah.
I didn't hear everything.
You need me to repeat the whole question?
No, like what was the last part of it? I'm sorry.
About the spec engine. It's just
what,
like how
what I feel like it was how it helped the program or hurt the program?
Yeah, for both financial, performance.
No, I don't feel like there's any financial gain in the spec program. We don't really need to get into all that right now, but by the time you hire employees and you fix issues and you change your trucks and all that, at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm not an engine guy, so I hire an engine guy to build my engines. I'm not a gear guy, so I hire a gear guy to build my transmissions and in gears. I'm a fabricator, crew chief, chassis guy, so I hire people that do what I can't do. So I don't want to own engines and work on engines. And when you go to a spec engine, you own them and you have to be responsible for them. You have to check your filters, you have to check your mileage, you have to take care of all those parts and pieces. When you don't own them and you just pay for a lease program, they drop one off and they pick one up. And they send a guy with it to babysit it for the weekend. And you know that leasing company is going to give you everything they possibly can because they want to win. If they don't win, they won't lease any engines, right? So when you partner with Mark Cronquist at Joe Gibbs Racing Engines, you know you're going to get the best that he can provide you within that budget. And when you compare that budget to the budget of owning 6 of your own engines, I don't personally feel like there's any savings.
We'll stay over here to the far left to Christian.
Christian Coley, frontstretch.com and the Motorsports News Source. Brett, this question's for you. Tom kind of alluded to it earlier that you've become the first champion from the state of Iowa. Can you comment on winning Iowa the same year that you won the championship and being the first champion from Iowa?
Yeah, I mean, it just means a lot to me. I've had so many people from my home state support me in my career, and I've had a lot of sponsorship partners from there as well, and a lot of them were here tonight. And just the biggest thing was winning in Iowa on Father's Day was super special to me, or on Father's Day weekend. And yeah, I mean, bringing a championship back to Iowa is certainly something that's going to go a long way to be able to be the first person to do that. As far as I know, that's amazing. And I mean, it's just my home state has supported me so much throughout my career, and the people there, that I'm just glad that the major friends, family, and supporters from there were here tonight, and we're gonna go drink beer with them shortly.
We'll stay to the left to Jacob and then go to Dustin Long.
Jacob Seelman, Speed Sport. I've got a couple here. Shiggy, Chris alluded to it earlier about the Indy Lights win here 20 years ago, but the guy sitting to your left was also the driver who gave you your very first Truck Series start. What's it mean to be able to bring everything full circle with him tonight?
Well, a couple months ago, I counted, okay, how many wins we did, and 5 truck wins. Today, 6, and 3 K&N wins, but all this driver. I don't know. I think Brett and Scott, they have really good relationship. During the race, they're so calm, but normally I put as a driver. Sometimes during the race, they're fighting, but then almost nothing, pretty quiet, but every time, boom. So same as myself and Brett, I think we're a good combination, and I don't know why, but yeah, definitely he's a good driver for me.
Brett, when Red Horse shut down and you were suddenly left without a ride, could you have ever pictured a year to follow like the one you've had this year?
No. You know, it was late in the off season that this deal came together, and I didn't know how many races it was going to be for, and fortunately we were able to go out there and win a race early and get everyone's minds thinking of what this year could be. And it took a lot of hard work, a lot of frustration, but in the end we prevailed. So I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my career. A lot of times I'm unemployed, and I'd say I've been through it enough times that now I'm going to save my money.
That's just getting old.
Yeah. 2015 I was rich, 2016 I was broke, so hopefully I'm a little smarter this go around.
Scott, refresh me. How long have you been with him?
With Brett?
Yeah.
Too long. The first time Brett and I did a race together, he drove an Xfinity car for me, I think it was 2011, 10 or 11, at Iowa.
How sweet is this for you tonight, for you two, everything that you guys have been through together to make this happen?
It's so sweet. It's so sweet. And then when Ben Kennedy left Red Horse, he was my driver on the 11. I lobbied for Brett to fill in there, and we had 5 races, and we were like 5th, 4th, 2nd, or 3rd, 4th, and then we won a race. So I don't know. I mean, I think of all the drivers I worked with, I can kind of read him a little bit better than some of the other ones, but it just works well. He does a great job. I think we're similar in certain ways. We don't waste a lot of time on stuff that doesn't mean anything. There's not a lot of extra words and what the truck's doing or what's going on. We're just, I don't know. It seems pretty much easier than other partnerships I've had, but it's, I guess, again, this is a team sport, and together, collectively, the group that we have together with Shiggy's ownership and all of his global partners that support us, and Mike Ricci running the operations, and me handling the truck stuff and the concrete end of it, and then my truck chief Tim Rice handling what he does. It's just a very it just works, and I don't know how to really explain it any better, but it's a system that works very well.
We'll go right here in the middle to Dustin, then we'll go over to Caleb.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Brett, when you were running the limited schedule 16-17, were you, how afraid were you that the window of opportunity was closing on your career with the push for 18, 19, 20-year-olds, even though you weren't that much older than them?
I was never really worried about an age thing. It's more of, the financial situation, honestly. There's a lot of those young guys that are there because they have the backing. And it's frustrating as a driver who I feel like I've proven myself time and time again when I do get opportunities on a limited basis. On a fill-in basis, I feel like I've always performed to the expectations or above the equipment that I'm in. And so that was frustrating, but all in all, I mean, I've been put through a lot of stuff in my career, and it only makes me stronger as a driver and a competitor where they don't necessarily learn those lessons, some of those guys. So I think when everything does work out, it's only going to make me better.
How did you, like you said, you've been knocked down a number of times.
Yeah.
How do you keep coming back up? I mean, at some point, you might stop.
I can hear you.
At some point, some people might stop. So how does somebody like you keep coming back up after, in essence, kind of getting knocked down?
I mean, I've wanted to quit 100 times. I've been at some really low points in my career, and I let this consume my whole life. And I've been in some miserable spots in life, but my family and my father have always stuck behind me, and taught me the lesson that it doesn't really matter what happens in life. If you keep working and you believe in yourself, it's going to happen. And they believe in me, and they give me the opportunity to keep bettering myself. So, it's just one of these days things are going to go my way and things are going to work out, and hopefully I'm a cup champion one day.
We'll go to the right over here to Caleb.
Caleb Whistler, KickingTheTires.net for anybody. You guys joined an elite group of drivers and teams as champions in NASCAR Camping World Truck Series competition. What advice would you give kind of your younger self, knowing that you're sitting up here as champions in NASCAR?
Don't do it. It's a lot of sacrifice. I've been on the road for 30 years. I missed a lot of birthday parties, a lot of, you name it, you miss it. But if you love it and it's your passion, go for it. Because if you want to, you have the philosophy is, well, if I want to be like a successful surgeon, I'm going to work like just as much as I work now, right? So what's the difference? But I guess when you're sitting up here and accomplish what we've accomplished with when the cards were stacked against us, it makes it worth it,
Gentlemen, congratulations on your championship. We look forward to seeing you in Daytona.
Thank you.
Thank you.